It was a tough Friday. My work had piled up and my stress had hit the roof. Luckily, the weekend had arrived and I thought I could finally relax a little. As soon as I stepped into my home, the cold embrace of loneliness immediately intoxicated me. I had always been like this, alone, and unfortunately, I had grown used to it. I was exhausted. I went straight to the kitchen, wanting to prepare something to eat. Just then, a sound came from the back room. At first, I thought I had imagined it, but then it came again, this time clearer. A faint rustling as if someone was walking with heavy steps, but I was sure I was alone in the house. After all, I was always alone. I hesitated for a moment, locked my door, took a deep breath, and decided to investigate the source of the noise. That was when I remembered I had forgotten to lock the door when I left for work in the morning. Slowly, I moved towards the back room, each step echoing through the house, intensifying my fear. When I entered the room, there was nothing there. Only my window, which was usually closed, had been left open. A strange feeling crept up inside me for a brief moment, but I brushed it off as nothing. I decided to close the window and go back, but at that moment, I heard a voice. Someone, as if from behind me, was calling my name in an eerie, nameless whisper. It was so clear that my ears rang. I turned around quickly. Nothing. My heart started pounding faster and my fear grew with every passing second. I was no longer alone in this house. I could feel it. Spending the night here alone was now impossible. But no matter where I went, fear was always by my side. Suddenly, another rustling sound came from the back room. This time, even clearer. I could hear someone slowly stepping into the room. I ran toward the door in a panic, but fear took control, and instead, I slammed it shut and locked it. Peering through the keyhole, I saw a masked man walking down the corridor. At that moment, time seemed to freeze. My vision darkened. I had never been this terrified in my life. I realized I had to do something. Gathering all my courage, I shouted, "Get out of here immediately! I've called the police, they're on their way." And my plan worked. The man hesitated for a second, then bolted out the door. Luckily, the security guards from the residential complex caught him and handed him over to the police. Story 2. It was an ordinary Sunday. Since tomorrow was the first day of the week, I felt a subtle tension weighing on me. I turned on the TV, trying to distract myself. The peace of living alone had started to comfort me until I saw the news. Just 2 kilometers away, prisoners had escaped from a nearby prison. Out of the 32 fugitives, 26 were serial killers. As soon as I heard the news, I locked all my doors, turned off the TV, and suddenly the silence in my home felt deafening. Was I really alone? As the night slowly crept in, everything seemed normal. I went to my room and started watching something to distract myself. Then, out of nowhere, I heard a sound, an unexpected one. It was my elderly neighbor from upstairs shouting. One of the escaped prisoners had broken into his home. From the sound of the struggle, it was clear that the criminals were demanding all his savings and valuables. When the old man defiantly shouted, "I'm not giving you anything," the noise that shook the entire apartment complex suddenly stopped. They had probably killed him. For minutes I stood frozen, unable to process what had just happened. My heart was pounding violently. With trembling hands, I grabbed my phone and immediately dialed the police. It rang and rang, but no one answered. Most likely, too many people were calling at the same time, and the lines were jammed. The smartest thing I could think of was to turn off all the lights and stay completely silent. I carefully peeked out the window, barely breathing. I slowly pulled the curtain aside. I had already locked the door, but to be sure, I slid the bolt shut as well. Then, I remembered the gun my grandfather had given me for emergencies. It was hidden under my bed. I took it out, loaded the bullets, and waited. 2 hours passed. I cautiously opened the curtains again and saw that the police had taken control of the situation. All the escaped prisoners were handcuffed and being taken back to prison. I let out a deep sigh of relief. I had never experienced such terror in my life. I would never forget this night. After a long vacation, I had finally returned home. The journey had been exhausting, and all I wanted was to get some rest. As soon as I opened the door, I tossed my suitcase to the side and collapsed onto my bed without even changing my clothes. My eyelids grew heavy, and within seconds, I was fast asleep. In the middle of the night, the sharp ring of my phone jolted me awake. For a few seconds, I struggled to make sense of what was happening. I glanced at the screen. It was Robert, the night guard from my residential complex. Confused, I wondered why he was calling me at this hour. A deep sense of unease settled in. I picked up the call, my voice barely a whisper. With a trembling tone, he said, "Please don't panic. Stay calm." My breath hitched. "What happened?" I whispered. "There's a masked man in your living room right now," he said. He's rummaging through your drawers. Lock your door immediately. Police are on their way. Chills ran down my spine. That's when I realized my door wasn't locked. I carefully slipped my phone under my pillow and got out of bed as silently as possible. I tiptoed to the door, my hands shaking uncontrollably as I turned the key. The clicking sound of the lock felt as loud as thunder. A terrifying thought gripped me. What if he had heard me? Holding my breath, I listened carefully. The house was silent. Then I heard it, the slow creak of the living room door opening. Someone was stepping cautiously into the hallway. My hands and legs were trembling as if they had a life of their own. Then suddenly, the distant sound of sirens. The police had arrived. The moment the thief heard them, he dropped everything he was holding and bolted for the door. I remained frozen in my room, my entire body still shaking. My phone rang again. It was Robert. "The intruder has been caught, sir. You're safer than ever now," he assured me. Even though I still felt uneasy, I unlocked my door and stepped out into the living room. The thief had turned everything upside down. All my drowsiness had vanished. I locked my door, twice this time, then returned to my room and prayed, thankful that I had made it through the night alive.